All right, we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. Thank you so much for coming. My name's Taylor with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today, we're going over designs, and I'm going to show you how to create an email signature, how to actually add it to your KW email, Gmail account, as well as creating a social post. And I'll show you how to either schedule that out or use it in a paid ad. Feel free as we go to throw questions in the chat. I'm going to do my best to watch that as we go. Sorry for my random pauses, guys. We're still letting people in from the waiting room. So just know that if I pause randomly, that's probably why. I'm going to throw our email in the chat so that you can copy it down if you want. That way, if you have questions afterwards and you don't want to watch the recording on our YouTube channel just to find one little section, you can always email us, or if you think of anything different, even if it's off topic, you can email us any questions and we can take a look and we'll be happy to help. First thing we're going to do is start by logging into Command, which is agent.kw.com. We're going to enter our username and password. And if you're familiar with our Thursday classes, we always recommend that you start with updating or double checking in your settings, your marketing profile, because all of your information here gets pulled into different areas in Command to make your designs more, what's the word, convenient, I guess. You don't have to edit as much information. So once your settings load, you're going to go to Connect Settings and Marketing Profile. And then we're just going to go through real quick and highlight each section. So you have your headshot and your team logo. If you're not on a team, we do recommend that you still have something in this section. So a generic KW logo or maybe a realtor logo, because when you create certain things in designs, if this isn't filled in, it will have a broken image icon that you can't edit. So we do want to make sure that that doesn't look funny when you create something. We have first name, last name, agent license number, your team name. Typically, again, if you're not on a team, this is going to say something like your name at, and then the office you're with. Job title, slogan, designations and credentials. If you have military affiliation, a spot for your bio. You have contact information for you, so mobile phone, office phone, email, and website. Brokerage specific information, so you have your office DBA logo, office name, phone number, address, and license number. And this is the office license number. Then you have your section for compliance, so you have your legal footer text. If you are in a state that requires you to have links in all of your material, you can enter the text that you need it to say here and then the link. You also have a legal footer image, as well as social media links. Once that is done, we're going to save. And then we're going to go into design. If you're not familiar yet with the names of each of these icons and you don't want to hover over each of them, you can click on the red KW in the upper left-hand corner. And that's going to pop out the names in the menu so that you don't have to hover over each one to find out. I'm gonna zoom in here just a little bit so it's easier for you guys to see on your end, hopefully. And now that we're in here, first thing we're gonna do is create design. And we're gonna go with social. We're gonna start with creating the email signature. And that's gonna drop you into all of these templates. And actually, before we go in and start editing that, I'm gonna bring you over to assets here on the upper kind of left-hand side towards the middle. And here is gonna be a spot for your frequently used things so that you don't have to upload your images, your logos, your text every time. It's gonna make it a quick switch rather than having to type everything out. So under images is where we recommend uploading your headshot. Text is where we recommend having basically all of the information from your marketing profile that's going to be included in any signatures you create or something like that. So you'll see I have a section here for my name. It's labeled first name, but I put both first and last name. You'll see my website link, my app link, and then we have phone number, email, and then the office address. So all of those things that I'm going to frequently add to all of my material. And then logos, this is where we recommend having your office's DBA logo. If you have a team logo, upload that here. That way, when we go to start creating the designs, I'll show you how you can easily swap those out so you don't have to upload them every time. I know we breezed through this and the settings pretty quickly. I just wanted to kind of touch on each of those because it is a big part. But now we're going to actually dive into the creating the design and how to apply them. So under the social templates, you have all of these different topics. And these are going to be designs or templates that are ideally created to work on social media. So you'll see under listings, let's just say I chose for sale. You can see filters here. So social wide, those are going to be more like your Facebook banner images or maybe a Facebook post. But if you do wide, it's not necessarily going to apply to Instagram if you're trying to post them on that platform as well. So for that, we would recommend social square because that's going to fit Instagram and Facebook, which are the two most common ones that we see used. And then you also have social stories. So if you're someone that posts to your story on social media, you'll have those, that's kind of these longer templates as well. You can use any of these images for print advertisement. You won't necessarily have the ability once you create it to order your print through the design, the WeBrand editor, because it's classified as a social post. But if you download the image and apply it to a document, a flyer, postcard, whatever, if you get it formatted correctly, then you can order it or print it at your office. It just depends on what it is you're doing. But under business basics, you'll see there's business cards, email signatures, letterhead, social branding, or virtual meetings. They have lots of different templates that you can choose from. Meeting backgrounds. So we're going to go to email signatures. And here you can kind of see there's different templates. You can download the template. Or if you know which one you want to use, we're going to just hit use. And that's going to take us into the actual editor. I'm going to skip this pages menu pop-up. This is just letting us know that if you pop out this menu, if you had a document with multiple pages, you could toggle between them right now. So now that this is here, we're going to first just start swapping out all of this information. So we have our DBA name, or this logo, and you'll see when I selected that, it popped down to logos and immediately went to my assets. So this is that section that we just went through for the frequently used images. And since these are already uploaded, you can replace logo, and that just swaps that out. Depending on the format of what you have saved, it should keep that format that you have. Where if I just clicked on it to add, I can then move it around. So you have multiple options with that. It just depends. Here we have a text box for first and last name. You do have the option here. You can double click and just type right into the text box. If you do that, sometimes the formatting doesn't stay. It just depends. The editor can be a wee bit finicky depending on your device, depending on your computer settings, like it's all funky. So you can also use the typewriter function, which is right next to the font size, and that pops out this section here. Just type in there, and when you save, it changes, but keeps your formatting. The other option, just like with the logo, if you go to text, this is going to add, so you can choose different types of text boxes that you can then edit. But if you go to my assets, you'll see where we have our name already, and you can replace text just like you did that logo. You can change all of these. You still have all of your normal text box editing. License number. If we had that saved in my assets, you could swap that out. However, if you just had the number in a text box, so like you'll see on this phone number, there's two different labels here. If I go to replace text, it's going to take away everything else in that box and just put what's in this box. So this is one of those cases where you may want to just use the typewriter. Save those changes. We're going to come back up here, add in our license number. Make sure that fits. And here you have one text box with the full address, and we have ours split into two in our assets. So you can always replace one, but then edit. Or what I like to do, if I wanted this on two separate lines, I like to duplicate this text box so that it keeps the same formatting. The text is the same font, same size, all of that. And then you can come in here with your address line 2, swap that out. You'll see again, one text box with both. So you're going to want to edit. Headshot, just like with our logo, we go to images, under assets. We're going to swap that out. That showed up a little darker than we wanted, so we're going to change some of these. Just edit it a little bit. We're going to change that because there we go. That looks a little more normal. You'll see when I selected the entire thing, so I clicked on something that wasn't a specific text box or image icon. You have this design here. Let's say I don't like the red. Maybe you want to change it to black. You can go to all of your colors. You can do the same thing with your background color. So maybe I don't like this bright white. Maybe it looks a little too plain. And obviously, as you play with this, you may want to adjust your fonts here. Once you're satisfied with how it looks, you can hit done, and that's going to just save it and take you back to your main designs dashboard. But I'm going to also show you how to add it to your email. So we're going to download this image, and we're going to go PNG. And download, and you'll see a progress bar here, and then it'll pop up on the bottom. The next thing we're going to do, we're not going to just try to throw this right into our signature in the settings because the sizing might not fit. It's going to be a little bit, I'm going to show you guys a trick. That way it will also show up if you're responding from email on your phone. Sometimes, depending on your settings and your devices, it doesn't automatically do that, even though you have a signature set up in your email. So I'm going to show you a trick. We're going to go to IMGUR. And we're going to create a new post. Here, we're going to drop our file. Download our post. So now we have an IMGUR PNG. Going into our email now. Go to settings in the upper right-hand corner and see all settings. All right, so just to go through that one more time, I know it can be a bit confusing. Once we downloaded it here in command, our file pulled to the bottom here. This may also be a file in your downloads, or maybe it downloaded directly to your desktop. Once you have that image, then we went to imgur.com. And we went to new post. So you're actually posting this image into the site so that you can get this link. And once it uploads, you selected download post. And that gave you this version of the image. So once we're in our settings, we're going to scroll down. And here, it's like fourth from the bottom. You'll see signature. We're going to create new. Name it. And here, we're going to insert an image, upload our IMGUR file, change our settings for new emails, KW signature, and replying or forwarding, adding our signature here. And then save. And that should now pop up when you create a new email. Alrighty. Now that we're done with that, we're going to hit done. This is going to, again, save. It's going to be our newest icon here. And once it generates, you'll see a little preview. Now we're going to go to create a social post. So create a design, again, social. Continue. And this is going to default to where we just were. So it defaulted to business basics, email signatures. There's a ton of different options. Let's see if they have stuff loaded for holidays yet. Look at that. As you scroll, more will show up. All right, it looks like we've reached the bottom. So again, tons of options. We're going to do a social square because we're creating an actual post rather than a story. So that's going to filter so that we can easily pick a template that will fit. We don't have to worry about that. You do have the option to start from blank. I am not that creative. All right, so now let's just pick our design. Let's go with this crazy busy one because I like food. All right, it looks like someone put in the chat, Social Square will fit on both Facebook and Instagram. Yes, the squares are designed to fit specifically Instagram formatting, but you can post a square image on Facebook as well. But if you chose a wider option that fits on Facebook, that's not necessarily going to format properly for Instagram. It's going to kind of cut off. Like if this was wider, it would kind of just cut off here in the middle. Oops. Undo. All right, so for this one, this whole thing is an image. So we don't have to worry about the KW in the middle. We don't have to worry about any of that. There is also this, gray filter in the corner. Just kind of fades this corner so that you can more easily see the logo, which again, we're just going to swap out. That's harder to read because of the text in my logo. So we're going to throw a random shape in here to use as the background. I did that pretty quickly. So you also have these tools up here. So you can quickly add a text box just like we did over here. You can frame. So if you add a frame, you'll be able to upload an image, but it'll be in this shape. Shapes, you have basic, you have all the different kinds that you can filter from. So we went with the basic shape. We're going to change the color, and I'm going to go with a white background. This stroke color, if you click off, is actually a purple outline. It's hard to tell, but if I made it thicker, you would be able to tell. There you go. So for this, I'm going to choose a background color of either white, or sorry, a border color, not a background color. Or I could do black. And then we're going to arrange it so that this goes behind our logo, but in front of the other things. You can also, if you send it backwards, it's going to add the specific, that corner little shadowy thing. I'm going to bring that back forward. And then adjust. So for this, maybe this is all you want on your design, on your picture. You can also add text. So here, we're going to go in and edit, just like we did before. I want white text so it's easier to read. And edit. Text alignment, we're going to center that. And this is harder to see, so maybe we create another shape. I pretty much stick to rectangles. But you can do whatever you'd like. I'm going to change this back to a smaller outline. You can also change whether you want it dotted, dashed, whatever. And then here we're going to send backwards again. And maybe I like this color. It's the closest to what I'm looking for, but maybe it's harder to read the text than I thought. We're just going to change that opacity. Make it a little easier to read, but you can see the image behind it. We're gonna download that. I pretty much stick to either JPEG or PNG. These are higher quality images. Now we have this JPEG image done. We're gonna create another one, social post or social design. Maybe you're not looking for a holiday one. Maybe you're looking for, I don't know, neighborhood snapshots so that you can post. If you filter by social stories, again, you'll have these to choose from. You go in and edit it just the same, download just the same. And when you go to post it, it's going to filter by that, which we will get to. We're just going to create some different materials first. I feel like I'm going through class really fast. So again, if you have questions, just throw them in the chat. If I miss it for whatever reason, I should have time at the end of class to read through them again and make sure that I answered everyone's questions. Maybe for a listing, well, let's just stick to neighborhood snapshots. But we're going to go back to Social Square. Again, with these, you're pretty much guaranteed just one page. If it was multiple, where these dots are, like you're going to have in one of these gray spots here at the bottom. If it's multiple pages, you'll see a number. So if we went to a listing presentation, well, that's not right. I'm probably just clicking around too much and giving the system an overload. Let's go back to neighborhood snapshots. Either that or KWRI is working on that section and either making edits or adding stuff. And so that's why it's unavailable at the moment, which does happen often. They often update these templates or add more. So if you see that, don't freak out. I'm sure it'll come back soon. Social Square. Once you have the template that you're looking for or that you want to customize, you can hit use. And just like our other designs, we're going to edit our information. Make it customized for our area. Actually, there's not much information on that neighborhood, so let's just go with. And then I select this little snapshot And obviously this still says Barton Hills. So here, we're gonna go to KWLS. And we're not necessarily looking for a specific listing, although we might when we get down to this image. But we're gonna go to snapshots and search by neighborhood. So you can search by neighborhood name. Might be a little too generic, we'll see. Oh, look at that. So once you select the neighborhood you're looking for, these neighborhood snapshots are going to be pulling, and you can replace. And give it a moment to load. You'll see at first it loads blurry, just like it is over here. But once it loads, you'll have that information. This information is all pulling from Nextdoor and MLS information. So you don't actually have the ability to edit this information in the snapshots. So let's say I don't like that there's not data here. We can maybe choose a different, more specific area. I did choose a whole city rather than specific neighborhood. So again, pick our image that we want to switch out, replace. Once that loads, and there we go. Now we have all of our data for this specific area. There are different options when it comes to switching it out. So you can replace with these other widgets if you want it to look differently. Let's replace, well, in that case, because it's a different format, we may want to delete this, add this one specifically in. Change the way it lines up. Add this image in, line it up. It's got two maps there, so that doesn't necessarily look the way I want. But you do have that option if you're trying, or maybe you want different areas. So North Vancouver, Northwest Vancouver. Once that loads, we'll add another box. And maybe you like these comparisons. So I'm going to choose the same style. You can do that. Or like we said before, duplicate so it keeps sizing. And then go to your next neighborhood. British Columbia. Now we're getting to the wrong Vancouver. Let's see. Let's go with Philida. Find our same widget. Oops. We had duplicated it so that we could replace. There we go. So once again, when that looks the way we want it to, maybe we want to come and replace this image. Maybe we have a new listing that we want to highlight, or maybe a just sold. So for that, just like we did with this snapshot, we're going to come back over here to listing. And you do have the option to search by all of these things. We found that searching by MLS number is usually the most accurate. I don't have one right in front of me, but I do have an address. So let's see if this will pull up. Yeah, see, the search pulls with lots of different, this is actually the one we're looking for, but it pulls with all of these different fields. So it's pulling every house number that's 4404. You have north, you have fourth, and you have circle. So it doesn't look specifically for what you're entering, it's looking for all of that. So that's why we suggest MLS numbers. So if I had this, I would have searched by that, it would have just pulled up this one. But maybe we want to change this image out for one of our new listings. We replace that just like we did with everything else. Maybe I don't like that there's this border around it because it is pulling in from the MLS. So however it's uploaded there is going to pull in here, but you can reposition. So we're going to just enlarge the photo so that it just highlights the house rather than this border around the image. And done. And there we go. You do have this box that's already here with this color. Maybe you don't like the red. Again, you can adjust this however you want, make it more see-through, whatever it is. Change the outline. If you don't want there to be an outline, you can either select this little box with a lot of lines diagonally through it, and that's going to remove. Or if it's easier, whatever color the box is that you make, if you add that, it just looks like one box. All right, it looks like one of ours again had that NA. So I'm just going to remove that and maybe just keep these two. Again, this information pulls directly from Nextdoor. Depending on, you know, what it is you're adding. Some information pulls directly from the MLS, like here with our listing information, but the neighborhood information pulls from Nextdoor. So you don't have the ability to change these images since it's all pulling in automatically. Once you're done and satisfied with how this looks, we're going to download again. Now we have both of our images. Select done. It's also saved here. The next thing we're going to do, we didn't highlight this at the beginning of class. So we're going to go back into our settings. So clicking on our name in the upper right-hand corner. Under settings, we want to make sure on this main integrations page that our social media is connected. So you'll see I have Facebook connected here, both for post scheduling and ads manager. So this is the business page that I've connected to so that I can run paid ads through command. But for scheduling a post, it is separate. So you want to make sure whichever one you're using, if not both, are connected. You do have post scheduling through Instagram here. So typically this is just going to connect your account. It's all set up to go together. So if I'm trying to log into Instagram or connect my Instagram, I'm going to actually log into Facebook. You have the same thing for Twitter. Once you have those connected, then you'll be able to go to campaigns, which is this megaphone looking icon. You do have the option to connect more apps, and that's gonna, once it loads, redirect you to the marketplace. In here somewhere. I do know that you can connect your LinkedIn. I'm like 95% certain. I will have to get back to you. You can post there separately as well. I'm actually not 100% on that. So feel free to email us and I will have time to look into that for you. See. If adding social media links after the original setup, is there specific formats of the URL that needs to be used? Social media links. Are you referring to like connecting your accounts here or back on the main marketing profile down at the bottom? So connecting your accounts, you'll be able, it basically just asks you to log in and select which account you're going to be associating with it, either a business page or connecting your personal for ads or for posting. So if you need to update your account or if you created a personal page but you want a different business page or something connected, you can manage, and that's going to take you in so you can edit that connection. And if I'm not understanding your question, I apologize. But I am going to go through campaigns really quickly and how to actually add the post. Okay, perfect. Just so that we can get through that. So once those are connected, we're going to go back to campaigns. And this is where you can either create a paid ad. If you create a campaign, you're going to go social ad. We're going to go with I'm not creative right now. There we go. And we're going to go with event awareness. So this might be in reference to, well, there we go. We'll do Pi event because that's what we added to our design. Event awareness. And I have Facebook connected for paid ads. So I'm going to select that box. It's going to typically throw an error. So I don't have Twitter connected. Somewhere I do have an Instagram connected, apparently. We'll see. Or it was just a delay. So just selecting our Facebook, we're going to create the campaign. Event awareness. Not sure why it's asking me for listing information. That's new. Anyway, we're going to find that listing because we're also talking about the property. Where did you go? I probably should have saved that. MLS number. Search by listing agent. Let's try this way. Oh, you know what? Sorry, guys. I'm getting all over the place with this. You just get to follow along with me. See where my brain takes us. We're close. I can feel it. Okay, maybe not. We're just going to select this one and pretend that it's the same one. Configure text. So you'll see here we have character limit. This is pulling in again because we selected our listing from the remarks. So you can change what this says. If you enter a headline, you'll see right here where it's going to show up. It's very odd. All right. You'll see we've reached our character limit there. You can either shuffle these suggestions for descriptions. And then you say use, and then that adds it here to our ad. And save that. So now we have our green check boxes. Facebook settings. We've selected the account. Looks like I don't have a business page connected for a paid ad. So this is not going to let me save as a draft, or at least not continue. We do recommend using the Facebook lead generation form. Oh. I actually don't have notes. I just wing it, unfortunately. So that is something that I have on my agenda to work on. But the recording will be available on our YouTube channel. We try to post later in the day once it's done processing. So if you wanted to revisit, you can watch it on YouTube, slow it down, pause it. It's unfortunately something that, because I change the material every week, we don't really type out notes. But I am working on a plan for that. So we do recommend your Facebook lead generation form. You do also have the ability to use your website or a landing page. So you can change what this button says. You have a drop-down menu, sign up, contact us, apply. And here, we're going to choose a landing page. So let's say I have a specific landing page. Maybe if it was a pie event, I have a sign-up sheet so people can choose which pie they want. We created that as a landing page connected to our main website, but it's separate. You can select that. So once we have that selected, then you can change your audience. So for this one, because we selected a listing, it's going to give us the area. Again, we picked one random. So we're going to go with Pennsylvania. And you can change the radius around that area. And it tells you your potential people of being reached as you change that. Let's go 151. There we go. And it updated. I made it a little too much. So once you have that saved, again, getting an error because I don't have a paid ad. You can change custom targeting. You can kind of make this more specific if you want. Your lead settings. So if you get a lead from this ad, you can have it auto tag. And you can auto assign a smart plan if you'd like. And how long it lasts and how much your budget is for this ad. So that would be a paid ad. I'm going to just try to touch on the social post really quickly. Again, create a campaign, social post. This is going to look very similar. You'll have your connected accounts here. Your content, you can type in your whole message about your event details. And here you can add your images. So that's where dragging and dropping, you'll see our square is already formatted here. Include your compliance pieces, DBA logo. It's on each design, but you can change that, make sure it's there. And then you can schedule this post out. So let's see, you have your message here. So this is just a regular post rather than an ad, and you have both images, but maybe you just want one. Let's say this has all your details about your pie event that you're inviting everyone to. And then you can schedule. Maybe you're making this in advance to go out. Once you schedule, you review. And now it's on your calendar to go out. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry that I ended up having a bunny trail with my brain trying to get that set up for you. But I am going to be respectful. There is someone that needs this account right after us. So I'm going to end the class. If I missed any of your questions, I am so sorry. Please take that email. I'll post it again in the chat really quick for you. And feel free to email us any questions that you have so that we can get those answered for you. Look into it if you have questions. Again, the recording will be posted as soon as we can get it processed on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search Scott Leroy Marketing, you'll find our whole channel with all of our class uploads. We have tip videos on, quick little helpful things. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday and a great weekend.